Oh, you gonna throat sing for us?
No, but I got like a lung tickle. There's like a weird lung riot, like a Japanese pop metal band like performing. You know, like baby metal. There's like a baby metal concert in my chest. You know, it's like kind of a thrash lung riot thing, but also kind of cute. You know, it's kind of weird.
Do the cute part again. So, all right, good. So you're jacking up the Rio. I'm gonna start off with this Dr. Dabber Boost Evo that we're gonna talk about tonight. I'll go ahead and take my first dab on that.
Before we get into talking about the Boost Evo, I want to make sure that we're clear. Even though we are sponsored by Stash Products and the Rio, by no means does that affect our ability to be objective and open-minded about other products. Stash Products knows that they are not paying for our opinions. Our opinions were formed, and we fell in love with these products well before the sponsorship was in place. So, no need to be concerned.
True that. Even if we're going to talk about Dr. Dabber. I've been a Dr. Dabber fan for a bit, actually. So, ever since the Switch. So, you know, the Switch is what really turned me on to Dr. Dabber. I wasn't there for the boost. I mean, I knew it was there, but that wasn't my thing at the time. I was almost all dry herb at the time. And then they had a whole set of pens that I'd try, but wasn't heavy into. But when the Switch came out, that's when I started getting into concentrates a little bit. And that tech was so cool, man. I couldn't wait to dive into that. So I love that machine. Use it plenty. And then this thing came along, and I wasn't sure what we were getting into. And I was like, oh, is this a small Switch? Did they shrink it down or what? No, they just basically went the old tech route. Although really cool new tech on the old tech, if that makes any sense. So, I mean, it's old tech in the sense that anything that's like a Puffco Peak is what I would call old tech. That's just a pin blown up big. But this is kind of new tech in that it has some pretty cool features and designs about it. That's my take on the guts.
I did say something about the quartz cup. It is more. So we can start with a tour, I guess, of the Boost Evo.
Love it.
So first thing, you can hold it anywhere, nothing falls apart. Like some of these devices, if you hold it by the glass, the base will fall off, or the base, you have to be careful with some of the e-rigs. This one's not the case. Like, I mean, you probably get it to fall off because it is held on magnetically, but it's held on magnetically in a way where it can go on in multiple ways. It's a pretty neat little attachment. The Atomizer has a quartz cup and is also magnetically inserted, so you can take out this whole atomizer and soak it. Inside has a quartz cup over a traditional like ceramic disc heater. So the ceramic disc at the very bottom gets hot, but there's a quartz cup that lines the whole atomizer for your dabbage. And then the glass piece sits right on top. So there is no vapor path where your dab is going through the device or going through the atomizer. It comes up out of the quartz cup and goes directly into glass. I really like that. And then the little thing on the side is like a carb, and you can put your finger over it to kind of block it, or you can put your finger over it and push it in to open it up. It's a pretty unique interface. I thought it was a little funky at first, but after using it, I dig it.
Yeah, I like that too. You can cover it completely and it'll almost completely clog it. Or you can kind of feather it like you said, or you can push it in and it opens up those little side holes right there. You can kind of see through that one hole. So you get a little more air coming through the same pathway. So it's like really opening up your carb or lifting up your carb cap when you pop that thing on. Dude, I totally agree with everything you said, man. I love having the atomizer up here underneath within the soda can profile instead of out here to the side, you know. Makes it easier to carry around, makes it easier to look like anything else. Fits in cup holders in your car, fits in all kinds of cool shit. It feels better. I think this is in terms of where you're locating stuff, I already think this is superior design than the out to the side thing.
Yeah, the design is something special for this thing, and man, you really can walk around with this thing and it looks like a soda bottle or whatever. I mean, I think nowadays you can probably walk around with a Puffco Peak or a Carta or whatever, as long as you're holding it right and looking confident enough in it. But this one does have some advantage. I mean, you can hold it sideways, you're not going to lose anything. I have had water go into my atomizer a couple times, but they were both probably in the first 3 weeks of ownership. So, and I've been testing this. We've been testing this for what, 3 or 4 months? I've had it for a while now.
No, like when you use it like this, and this is your carb cap now, so it looks completely different to hit this and to use it than when you're having to do this whole thing and you're looking over and doing the twisty and then you're, you know, popping it open. And this thing, it's all just, I mean, it really is. You could look like you're hitting a sports bottle, and then instead you're vaporizing because of the way it's done like that. So, and yeah, whenever I clean it, there's something the way I clean it that I'm too aggressive or something, and I get water in that bottom chamber, and that's when I get water in here. It's when I come down and go, and that's when the water pops in, and it ruins that dab. A wet water in your dab will ruin the dab. There's no point in that. So you're right about that, but it's really kind of cool. Like, this is pretty interesting too. If you take this, you know, like you said, it's magnetic, but it also, there's magnets in here, and so it'll hold that way too. It just kind of,
oh shit,
floats in there a little bit. It's kind of funky.
Why though? Like why would you do that?
Oh, and then you can push it up, and then it pushes back out magnetically. So this is all just being held in magnetically at a certain point. Like, it grabs it, and then it won't let go. And it's all just a magnet hold. Isn't that funky? It's not, that's not what they were trying to do. It's just a byproduct of how they designed it. But I discovered it because I was trying to get a feel for how close everything was, how far into the glass go, where did the air come from the side, and what would it have to travel. And it was real easy to see when you could load it like this and just kind of see, oh, it pretty much stays right there.
Mm-hmm. And that white piece just grips the glass, right?
Yeah, the white piece just holds your glass together. I prefer to aim the mouthpiece with the carb. That way it's easy to kind of hit in this configuration. And then I'll put it opposite the front because I'm anal and OCD about shit.
So you want to talk interface? What is the interface? 5 clicks?
5 clicks on, and then you can single click it to see what temp you're at. So you're at white, which is the hottest. Then you triple click and it goes back to the beginning, purple. Then you can triple click again to get the next one, a light blue, and do it again. It'll probably be turquoise, and then again it's probably green, yellow, and then white.
And then white. White's the hottest.
Yep.
So now that we're into the performance part, by the way, this has different light modes, and double click will change the light modes.
Yeah, give it a shot.
So yeah, so you can put it in different light modes. So it's kind of like the Switch. This one just kind of gradually changes colors. There's just a trickle color. So it has light modes. Into the performance though. I think it's time to have some dabs with this thing.
You go to town.
Sure. This has not been winning my reach test, and it's not something that I can put a finger on. It's not easy to complain about the device. It just doesn't deliver the dab that I'm looking for. Like like if you were to graph the time and the temperature and the amount of concentrate and the amount of vapor and the fulfillingness, like if you graph all the little points of the person's perspective and preference, this one's missing in some departments for me, and it's not necessarily a design thing or a power thing, but I find it's just a thing with this style of atomizer where it's being heated from the bottom. The bottom of the atomizer heats much more quickly than the sides, and unless you're using a relatively large dab, small dabs will kind of like cool to the outside and just kind of cook. Like, they won't be really over the hottest part. Like they tend to just hit the outside. And for the method that I have to use to get the dab that I'm looking for, I find myself using too much concentrates, and I find myself chazzing the shit out of the quartz far too often.
How much do you normally like to load in one of your dabs?
I actually like to go small. Like, I like to do littler, like rice grain size now. I'm being back to reality. I used to go fucking globtastic all the time.
Globtastic, that's true. I remember
that. Yeah, but that one day I did the math and I was like, holy shit, I went through 13 grams of live resin in 9 days on top of the ounce of flour, you know? So yeah, nowadays I'm going through 2 grams of concentrate a month. Like, I'm making it really last, and I'm having smaller dabs and being more dab reality with my dabs. So like, flour is my go-to for continual medicine, and then when I need a quick catch up or a nightcap or whatever, then it's a dab time. But I moved dabs out of my daily drivers for a while.
So what are you reaching for instead when you know
the Rio? The Rio with the round bottom bangers is what wins over my heart for dabs.
Mm-hmm. And if you didn't have that, what do you think you'd reach for?
Probably an e-nail with the deep dish from 710 coils with inserts. Really love that setup. Cool. It's just I don't like having hot things that can burn me. Even with this vat bong here, it makes me uncomfortable. Like the vat bong, this SSV 43 made me uncomfortable. The torque makes me uncomfortable.
But your e-nail is one with a coil that's electric, like a classic, wrap around or underneath or something. So I just want to make sure I understood what you're doing, because that's funny, because I would expect that from your reach test, because I know you prefer the torch stuff. Now me, if I'm going torch, I'm gonna grab the Rio just because I like the form factor and it hits fucking great. And I don't like torches as like, I'm cool with e-nails, but I don't want the big torch nail. But for some reason, the Rio torch nail works for me. I think it's because it's in that little thing. But so anyhow, I typically go for e-rigs. Like I'll grab the Rio when I want that big ass hit. But on a maintenance all day long, me or the lady, I'm grabbing e-rigs. And for me, this has been more or less what I reached for. I've had it for several months as well. And in the first month, I used it a lot because I had to. And then I noticed after that, I was just grabbing it a lot. Like before that, it was the Vista Mini 2 that I would grab more than often than not. The Peak I would, but I tell you, man, I figured it out. I'm messy. So I fuck up a Peak day one every time, and I can't get it clean. Whereas these quartz ones, man, that dark crystal you get, you hooked me onto, man, fucking lifesaver. Like I think everybody should have this shit. If you're a dabber on quartz, you need this shit.
I've had this bottle for 7 years now, by the way.
Unreal, man. Let me show you let me show you what a year-old packaging looks like.
Yeah, because they changed the packaging.
Yeah, now it's this nice round, this kind of, or at least this is what it was when I got it last year, middle of last year. So, but look at this, dude. I've had this 6 to 9 months, I don't know, and that's all I've used up. And I mean, it's crazy. So anyhow.
6 to 9.
Yeah, there you go. I tried that. So I don't do a whole lot of the ceramic dish ones. I'm the kind that I'm messy, but I still want to be able to clean up on occasion. So I can't clean these ceramic ones up anymore. Like on my Peak Pro, I fucked that thing up on day one and I can't get it out no matter what. But so I kind of like these quartz atomizers. So anyway, the point is I was usually using the Vista Mini 2. Then I went for this. And what I like about it is I like having a lot of temps. These guys have 7 temps on here. I only use like the top 3 or 4. But Dr. Dabber likes to cater to the low temp things. So if you're a low temp guy, this one's going to really hit you on the low temp stuff better than some of the others that only have 4 temperatures. So it was really nice having that much variation down there. But I don't know, man. The form factor is good. I thought the battery life was okay. I didn't think it was stellar. I didn't do a battery test where I did all my fucking charts and all that. I just pretty much got a feel for it. And I feel like when I'm using this on a regular basis, I have to charge this probably every couple of days or I'm going to get disappointed on day 3, something like that. So
here's the melt shot, by the way.
Love that. There it goes. Oh, that's melting now. Cap it and go. So anyhow, while I was reaching for it a lot, Troy, I find that I was reaching for it a lot. I like it. I didn't think the battery life was great, and I'm not a fan of the price. It's in the 3s. It's like $330 or something like that, I think. What's the price on it, do you know? I have to look it up. It's like around $330, I think. And I don't see that without something like wireless charging or something. Like this thing should have wireless charging. You should be able to just set it down and boom, you're good. I like having the USB-C, and this really, I mean, this thing, I hope this thing is water resistant because it's a bitch to get out sometimes. But anyhow, I think it ought to have wireless charging for that price. Anything over $300. I mean, hell, the Vista Mini 2 has it for $160. So if this had wireless charging, I feel better about the price. As it is, I'm kind of like, if money doesn't mean as much to you, I can see you get this. I think you'll enjoy it. I don't think you'll get it and not like it, but I think some people will get it and think, for that money, you know what I mean? Because I mean, there's not an app. It doesn't need an app. It's just that for that money, I want to have something more than just basic features. You know what I'm saying? So there was another fucking e-rig I saw before this one that was on the market It had this same feature where it had this configuration with the thing underneath. And I was like, motherfucker, that's cool. And then I saw Dr. Dabber and I thought, oh, is that the next wave? I haven't seen the other one. I don't know if they shut it down. I don't know if this is a patented design or if we're going to see more of these. But anyhow, I like that design. I think it's pretty cool. And I do at times think that it's maybe a more potent design because you don't have all that silicone air path that you're covering and gumming up. The vapor really just goes straight from the bowl into the glass, and all the goop ends up being on the bottom here or as a floaty. Did you nail it? Nice. So I will say that, like, my wife usually takes 3 hits off of a cycle. You know, you'll turn it on for 30 seconds and she'll take 3, and then I'll back clean up. When we started using this, she started taking 2 because it was hitting her a little harder. I thought it was hitting a little harder too. So that's all in my head. I don't know if it's true, but it was interesting. So it might be more efficient. It's possible, but I don't know how I'd figure that out. But anyhow, yeah. So I dig the thing. I wish it were a little less money.
Yep. $330 is a lot. How much is a Switch? $399?
Yeah, $399, and that's bigger and crazy ass tab. I mean, the Switch, yeah, I would rather, if I'm in the threes, get a Switch.
Get a Switch.
Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, there you go. That's probably my only complaint. Otherwise, as an e-rig user, I grab it. I grab for it a lot. So, and also, I will say that the Quartz Atomizer, I'm telling you, man, if you have anything with a Quartz Atomizer, get this shit. And like, all you have to do in these things is go 2 or 3 cycles without swabbing, and you're gonna chaz the hell out of it. But this thing gets it like brand spanking new. So, that's the face I wanted to see, Troy.
I had to do a huge dab. That dab was way bigger than I wanted to be.
That was big, bro. I saw that shit.
It was double. It was 2 dabs. I put in a big chunk of diamonds, and diamonds make me cough way too much. And then I put in a big chunk of the rosin. The rosin tends to leave a little stain on the banger. So the diamonds and the rosin mixed together worked really well.
I love that.
That still made me cough.
I had to shut that down. That was too hot for this THCA.
Yeah, I don't know what temp I was on, but it got a little warm. It got a little intense there at the end. That last hit was a little bit of a lung torture. So this thing definitely can go to those like high impact dab marks. Like I don't mean to say that it doesn't perform, Jerry, because it does. It can dab hard, like I just did. But like with the Rio, there's so much control that I can pull out my jar and go, oh shit, I finished my dabs last night. I wonder if I can scrape together some remnants, and like I can put them in there and like scrape them in between the balls and the Rio, and torch it up just right, just to get enough heat into that little bottom spot, and I can dab it off and get like the perfect flavor and the perfect taste and enough impact to be like, yeah, that was worth scraping the jar. This thing, if I were to scrape the jar and put it in there and hit the button, it'd probably just burn off. Or, I mean, if I had the temperature that I wanted, it would burn off and not taste right. If I used the lower temperature, it would heat up too slow to give me the impact that I'm looking for, and the oil would just go to the outside of the atomizer and kind of cook inconsistently. I just can't. I can't get the precise dab science with it. I mean, I get it for like vaping concentrates. To me, that's different.
Mm-hmm.
To me, there's a big difference between like vaping concentrates and dabbing. You know, like dabbing, that control, that impact. I feel like this is a device where you can load like 10 dabs in there and keep it at a low temp and just kind of hit it whenever you want it. You know, it has that use. I mean, there are people that this is perfect for. I'm not one of them, but it's a fucking cool device.
I would never do what you said. I wonder what that's like, loading up a huge bunch and just taking little sippies all the time.
I learned it from Randy. Randy
Really?
at Champs. Yeah, he had a Psy, and he had packed so much dabs in there. I was like blown away. I'm like, I opened it. I'm like, holy fuck, bruh. Or no, like I was watching him load it or something. And I was like, dude. And he's like, listen. He's like, I know you're judging me, but hang out with me all night and I'll show you how it works, and it performs and it tastes great all night, and fucking A, it did. I hit that thing 8 or 10 times.
What do you do to keep it from losing its taste or too soon?
I don't remember what the specifics were, and I don't want to misquote them, but yeah, it I mean, it wouldn't be a way that I would necessarily use that device at home, but for traveling, hell yeah.
Yeah.
Like a quick dab, almost dab, near dab. I call it near dab. E-rig dabs are near dab.
All right.
They're not quite the real dab, but they're near dabs.
Yeah. I'll give you that, but Randy, I want to hear about this technique, man. I want to know that down, man, because there's plenty of times I like take my Quartz Quest out, but I'm like, do I really want to load this 6 times this afternoon? You know
I think he was using a cup. I think it was the titanium cup, top airflow.
Yeah, that sounds about right for the time frame.
And I think he had the TC set up in a way where it took like the full 10 seconds for it to heat up, and then you'd have to let go and hit it again to actually get vapor.
Mm-hmm.
Or maybe even do it twice. I don't remember what he had, but it worked as long as he didn't let it tip over afterwards.
Oh, that part. Fuck, I hate that. Yeah, that part drives me nuts.
But he had a pocket on his like backpack or whatever that was upright, so Randy plans ahead. He's like,
he had a solution, man. He knows what's going
organized.
down. He knows how to handle that. Like, bro, what? You're worried about the positioning of your vape when you're traveling? That's a rookie mistake. Randy's got that covered all day long, man. Upright in a pouch, boom, got it. It's like me in the fanny pack, man. I'm like, come on, man. I know how to travel with that shit on my hip. I'm gonna hit this one more time, see if we got the temp low enough, and then I'm gonna finally switch to my flower. Cheers, guys.
I forgot to add, the case for this is pretty nice.
That's true, man. Kind of half a circle or whatever.
Yeah, I don't know if I have one handy.
To hold everything. You got one right there?
I don't. I put my cases in a bin and I stuffed them somewhere. Too late.
Whoops, missed the cut.